Hey there, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I've done one of these second impressions videos. This is part 17. I will link the playlist where you can watch parts 1 through 16. This is where I come back and kind of give you guys an idea of what I actually feel about these fragrances that I've been hauling throughout the past several weeks or months, because most of my buys are blind buys. So I have a good chunk of fragrances to get through. We're just gonna get started. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started with Pure Poison by Dior. This actually wasn't a blind buy. This is maybe the only one from the collection that wasn't. And I have to say, I always thought I would wear this more often if I owned it. Obviously, I would wear it more often if I owned it, but I thought when I owned it, I would wear it more often. I don't know if it's because I've been trying out a lot more fragrances lately, and obviously hauling, but I haven't reached for this all that much. I do really like it. I will say it's kind of like, it alternates for first place in my Poison collection between Hypnotic and Pure. I really, really do like it. Maybe I'll end up wearing it a little bit more kind of now in spring, because I just really wasn't drawn to this in, the end of fall and winter. It was just a little bit too, I don't know, fresh and clean and soft, musky, for kind of like the real dead of winter. So I will probably be reaching for this more, but I wanted to get this out of the way because I actually did know what this smelled like. And this one, this next one, Sun de Gio by Giorgio Armani, sorry. This one I kind of knew. It was like a semi-blind buy because I'd smelled it before, but I didn't really remember. This I love, and I'm so happy I have it because this I already know I'm going to be reaching for a whole lot this summer. I again got this off season, so it's hard to say. I haven't worn it a whole lot. You can see a slight dent there, but this is a stunning fragrance for the summer. So I'll definitely be wearing it a lot more. It is just kind of, it's such a beautiful balance between not being a sunscreeny fragrance, but being actually quite summery, and having like a hint of that. But I feel like people who don't like sunscreen type fragrances would still love this. And yeah, I'm over the moon. There's a whole bunch. There's like Ocean and Sky. And I know there's a new one coming out too, which I think it's like Earth or Terra. I'm not exactly sure, but this is the first one I have from the range, and I love this one. Then we get to a fragrance that I've been loving since I got it. I'm in love with this fragrance. This is Madame by Jean Paul Gaultier, and I have the Eau de Toilette, I believe, because I know that they're different. Yeah, I have the Eau de Toilette. This is a fragrance, you guys, I cannot stop being obsessed with. There is something, and this is discontinued, so I will just say that right off the bat. It is harder to find. When I found it at this random little store, I think, yeah, I was so excited because I'd heard so many good things about this fragrance, and I knew it was harder to find that I just snagged it up, and it was for such a good deal. I think it was like $30 or so, $30, $35. It was amazing. Under 40. I'm so happy. I will say the Eau de Parfum, from what I've heard, is different and it's not as good. I can only speak about the Eau de Toilette. It's got this like, it's got a musky nature to it, but it's got like this sweet orange kind of feel. It kind of smells exactly like what this bottom part looks like, and it's so fluorescent that it looks like it's being lit from within. That's just the bottle design, but scent-wise, I love this. There was something so fun and youthful about it. It's like I want to drink it all up. I love this fragrance. If you can find it, I absolutely recommend it. Then, this was slightly disappointing, but we'll get to it. So this is Cotton by Marc Jacobs, and I always thought I'd really like this, and I never picked it up when it was at Sephora, so I was really happy to get it on a deal, I think from Fragrance Buy or Perfume Online, and I ended up not wearing it as much, so I put it away. I smelled it again today for the first time in a while, and I kind of got over that because I'd taken a break from it. I liked it more today than I did at the beginning. The thing I'll mention about it, which was the only reason it was kind of a turnoff, was it's a little bit more fruity than I imagined. I expected something called Cotton to be a lot more like a sea cotton, fluffy, musky kind of fragrance, and it has that to it. It's definitely clean, but it's not cotton. Cotton evokes kind of like a more fluffy, soft, like towel fresh, even bordering on laundry type scent, and this isn't that. So it kind of was like more of a mind trip in that way, rather than it being a bad scent. I do like it, but it's a lot more of like a clean, fruity kind of scent. I'll just spray it here. Yeah, there's like a fruity or like a citrus fruitiness to it that isn't that strong, and it's not like it doesn't jump out at you, but it's so much more pronounced than I thought it would be. And it isn't as in any way kind of like fluffy cottony the way I thought it would be. So that's the only thing that kind of throws me off for that one. All right, so now we're gonna get to 3 fragrances kind of in a row that are from 4711. I've loved these. I've been wearing them a whole bunch. We're just gonna go quickly through them. Straight off the bat, I love all 3, but I think, yeah, I just liked all 3 kind of equally for different reasons. So this is Lime and Nutmeg. This one I've worn the least because I feel like it's the one that lends itself most to being a hot weather type fragrance. I really, really like it. I like how I was worried it was just gonna smell like some of my other lemon ones and that it wouldn't be distinctly lime, but it really is. So I've enjoyed that. But I haven't been wearing it as much. The one I thought I'd like the least is Pink Pepper and Grapefruit, but what's interesting is not at the start, but when it sets on your skin for just a little bit, it actually gets kind of like a muskiness to it that's okay, it's more creamy than I thought it was gonna be. Right at the beginning, it's not the case. The pink pepper and the grapefruit are definitely there, and I thought it was just kind of stay there, but it softens up to something that I actually really have found to enjoy. So that's a nice one. None of these have very good lasting power, I will just say. That kind of goes across the board with 4711s. Honestly, from all the fragrances I've mentioned so far, the best lasting power one is Madame. Everything else, Pure Poison is nice too, honestly, but it's pretty soft. And the others are kind of just medium, but the 4711s are really kind of less than average in lasting power, but you're expecting them to be because they're just eau de colones. And I knew I would love it, and I do. White Peach and Coriander, I just love. Oh my God, I love it. It's a really interesting take on peach fragrance because I feel like because of the coriander, you really do get it. It's like an herbal feel to it. It isn't like some of my other peach fragrances that I've smelled, or even peach fragrances that I've smelled and don't own. And I really lean towards more of like a peach rings, candied peach feel. And at first it felt like it was gonna go that way when in the first impression, but this actually, the coriander is pronounced and it's a lot greener and more herbal and less sweet. So love that. Then we get to, and I know a lot of you were curious how I felt about this one, Dosan by Duptique. This is my first Duptique fragrance. I won't spray it because it will overpower everything. What I love about it is the performance on this is really, really great. I feel like I can smell it on me the entire workday and into the evening. It's a beautiful green floral. And the thing I will say about most diptyques, not all of them, but a good portion of them they have the same kind of overall vibe where I feel like if you like one, you're generally gonna like a lot of them. They have this kind of base to them where I feel like I can recognize a diptyque fragrance. I will say again, not all of them. There's one of them that I forget now. It's quite musky and it kind of reminds me of Glossier You, and that one's very, very different than the others. But Dosan does remind me a little bit of some of the other diptyque fragrances that I like and that I don't own. So I just like it. I think this is one of the great florals. The lasting power again on this, incredible. I have no complaints there, and it's probably one of the strongest that I'll talk about today. So definitely recommend if you like more of a green floral. Then we get to a fragrance that I have worn in the winter, and it looks like I haven't because you really don't need to spray that much of this. But wow, this is Miroir de Joyaux by Thierry Mugler. I said it when I hauled it, and it is true. The sprayer on this is so dainty and small, which I actually enjoy. I love how this reminds me of very like sweet scented like eraser note. I just love that about it. It's a really, really beautiful fragrance, and it's such a lovely one when it's super cold outside. We had a very cold winter, and we often do in Canada, and this is one of the ones that I kept reaching for because it's very all-consuming, but it's warm, and I feel like it blooms so beautifully when it's cold. I can't really see myself reaching for this when it's warm at all, especially when it gets hot. This is something that's going to choke you out, but in the dead of winter, I'm so happy I picked it up, and it's a beautiful bottle. So I definitely recommend if you live somewhere where it's cold for a good portion of the year, or if you're looking for something kind of in that warm, sweet eraser type, like woody kind of fragrance, I can't recommend that enough. All right, the next one is a huge love of mine, and that is from by Kilian, Bad Boys Are No Good, But Good Boys Are No Fun. I have loved this. Nothing's really changed here because it smells exactly like you think it's going to smell from the notes. It smells exactly like how it smelled when I first smelled it on the haul video. It is a Coca-Cola lime fragrance, and it's quite stronger on the lime. I mean, more than a Coca-Cola lime. Like if you're just to buy the bottles of Coca-Cola lime, this has more lime in it. It smells like you've like put in lime juice to a Coca-Cola fragrance. It is so unique in how it smells that way. I've had people mention that to them it's a little bit more male leaning of a fragrance, unisex kind of towards male fragrance. I would say it's unisex, but I mean, I agree with the fact that it's definitely not like a feminine, girly girl type fragrance. It just smells like Coca-Cola lime. And to me, a Coca-Cola is a unisex drink, so it's a unisex fragrance. I love it because I love soft drink, pop, soda, whatever you call it, type fragrances. I love root beer fragrances, Coca-Cola fragrances, even just like alcoholic drink fragrances when it's like very rummy. I love that. And this is like no except. This is my only Coca-Cola fragrance, I think. But it's also my favorite. So if you like that, it is a niche group of people, but I cannot recommend this enough. Then a fragrance that just completely opposite, kind of missed the mark. This is Dior Addict, and I always forget. Dior Addict to Life, I guess. And it's the eau de toilette. I just thought I was gonna like this or wear it more. It doesn't smell anything like the original Dior Addict, which I love, which I wasn't expecting it to. It's definitely supposed to be like a lighter, citrus, floral, light kind of spring summer fragrance, which to be fair, we weren't really in season for when I picked it up, but it just kind of smells like it doesn't stand out to me in any way. It's such a run-of-the-mill type fragrance that it hasn't stood out. I haven't really enjoyed it that much. I'll see how I feel about it, when it's more in season, because it does lean a lot more spring summer, but straight off the bat, I mean, in the weeks or months now that I've had it, I've maybe worn it twice, and that was to test it out. Once I kind of got a feel for how I feel about it, it was really put aside. And the least fragrance of the bunch is definitely that Dior Addict to Life, I guess it's called, the purple one. So I don't know if I'd recommend that. And then the last one is actually Oud for Glory by Lattafa. I did a video comparing this to Oud for Greatness. So I will, I'll link that above or below. Check it out on my channel. I go in huge depth about this and compare the two so you guys can really get a good feel. I have worn this. I've definitely worn this. in the summer. I really, really like it in the winter rather. It is very, I mean, spoiler alert, very, very, very similar to Oud for Greatness. Even in bottle and design, it's almost kind of insane how much they copied Oud for Greatness, but I mean, it's like at a fraction of the cost. So if you like that scent, it's kind of like a sweet medicinal oud mixed in with a Baccarat Rouge 540 vibe. So if you like fragrances that smell like Baccarat Rouge 540 and you like oud, you're guaranteed you're gonna like this. So that's Oud for Glory by Lattafa. And that is part 17 of my second impressions video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave me in the comments anything you'd like to know about these fragrances, which one of these you've tried or that you'd like to try, and I'll see you next time. Bye.